So guys, welcome to our channel once again. In today's video on our biology JAMB exam revision series, we are going to solve 20 JAMB repeated questions. So be sure to stay to the end of this video. Also, you can feel free to pause this video at any point to try and see if you can get the answer to the question before we provide the answers. So guys, let's start with the first question here. The question says, the relationship between a herbivore and the bacteria that lives in its cecum is A. Commensalism, B. Saprophytism, C. Parasitism, and D. Mutualism. So guys, the answer to this question is option D. That's mutualism. The relationship between the herbivore and the bacteria that lives in its cecum is mutualism, because both of them gain from the relationship. Actually, the herbivore helps to provide shelter and also provides food for the bacteria, whereas the bacteria, on the other hand, helps the herbivore to digest cellulose. So guys, the answer to this question is option D. So let's look at the next question. That's question number 2. The question says, what type of relationship is between protozoa and termites? Okay, so the options we have here, option A says parasitism, option B, symbiosis, option C, epiphytism, and option D, saprophytism. So guys, the answer to this question is option B, and that's symbiosis. The relationship between protozoa and termites is symbiosis, and symbiosis is in the case where both organisms actually gain from the relationship. So in the case of the protozoa and the termites and the termites gods help to break down cellulose from the wood that the termite eats, which the termites cannot actually do on its own, whereas the protozoa, on the other hand, gets a safe environment and nutrients from the termites as well. So guys, the answer to this question is symbiosis. So let's look at the next question, and that's question number 3. The question says, which of the following statements about microorganisms is true? We have options A, microorganisms are only found in soil and water. B, microorganisms are not important for ecological balance. C, microorganisms can be both beneficial and harmful to humans. D, all microorganisms are harmful to humans. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's that microorganisms can be both beneficial and harmful to humans. So let's look at the next question, and that's question number 4. The question says, the association in which one member benefits and the other is relatively unaffected by the interaction is termed A. Parasitism, B. Mutualism, C. Commensalism, D. Symbiosis. So guys, the answer to this question is commensalism. In commensalism, one member actually benefits from the relationship, whereas the other is actually unaffected or unharmed. So guys, let's look at the next question. That's question number 5. The question says, the association between termites and the cellulose digesting protozoans in their guts is an example of A. Commensalism, B. Parasitism, C. Saprophytism, and D. Mutualism. So guys, we have answered a similar question to this before. So guys, the answer to this question on this hand is mutualism. Talking about mutualism, it's a relationship where the both individuals benefit in their relationship. So in the previous question, we have this option as symbiosis, which is the same. The both organisms actually benefit from this relationship. So guys, here we have this option as mutualism. which actually stands for the same. It's a relationship where the both organisms benefit. So just like we explained earlier on, the cellulose digesting protozoans in the guts of the termites will help them digest the cellulose which they are unable to digest. And then on the other hand, these protozoans gain protection and shelter in the guts of these termites. So guys, let's look at the next question, and that's question number 6. The question says, dash is an association between two organisms living together in which only one benefits from the association, while the other neither benefits nor is harmed. So guys, we've answered this question, and let's just look at the options. We have predation, commensalism, parasitism, and symbiosis. So guys, we already know that the answer to this question is commensalism. So take note of that. We have the next question, and that's question number 7, which says, an association between the root nodule of a leguminous plant and Rhizobium species is known as A. Commensalism, B. Parasitism, C. Symbiosis, and D. Mycorrhiza. So, guys, the answer to this question is symbiosis. So, guys, it's a symbiosis because this rhizobium actually live in the root nodules of these plants. So, and then they in turn help to fix atmospheric nitrogen in the root nodules of these plants into a form that the plants can use. So guys, let's look at the next question, and that's question number 8. It says, which of the following terms describes the feeding relationship where one organism benefits while the other is harmed? So guys, we have options: A. Mutualism, B. Parasitism, C. Predation, and D. Commensalism. So guys, in a feeding relationship where one benefits and the other is harmed, the type of relationship there is parasitism. So guys, option B is the correct answer to this question. Let's look at the next question, and that's question number 9. Which of the following organisms has a symbiotic relationship with green algae? So options: A. Hydra, B. Amoeba, C. Euglena, D. Paramecium. So guys, the answer to this question is Hydra. Hydra is the organism that has a symbiotic relationship with green algae. Actually, the algae live in the cells of the hydra and perform photosynthesis, providing the hydra with nutrients, and then in turn the hydra provides the algae with protection and access to light as well. So guys, let's look at the next question, and that's question number 10. The question says, the association between two organisms living together in which only one benefits from the association while the other is neither benefited nor harmed is. So guys, this is the third time this question is appearing, and this should tell you that knowing the answer to this question is a bonus for you. Perhaps you might likely see the question in your exam. So let's take note of this. The answer to this question is commensalism. Anywhere we see it, the answer to this question is commensalism, and that's option A. We've already explained the concept here. So let's look at the next question. Question number 11. It says, which of the following association is an example of mutualism? A. Shark and remora fish, B. Human and lice, C. Hydra viridis and Zuchlorella, and then D. Bread and Rhizopus stolonifer. So guys, the answer to this question is Hydra viridis and Zuchlorella. So Already we know that in mutualism, the two organisms benefits from the activity of the other. So out of this group of organisms here, the group of organisms where each of the organisms benefits from each other is the option C. That's the Hydra viridis and Zuchlorella. So guys, the answer to this question is option C. So let's look at the next question, and that's question number 12. It says, which of the following is an example of parasitism? A. Mistletoe growing on an orange tree. B. Fungi on a dead tree branch. C. A squirrel living in an abandoned nest of a bird. And D. Cattle egrets taking ticks from the body of cattle. So guys, out of these options, the one that seems to be a parasitic relationship is mistletoe growing on an orange tree, because the mistletoe that is growing on an orange tree will penetrate the branches of the tree, and then they absorb water and nutrients from these host plants, thereby causing harm to the plants and yielding no good to the plants. So guys, the answer to this question is option A. So let's look at the next question. That's question number 13. The question says, dash is a close association between two organisms in which one, known as the parasite, lives in or on the body of another, the host. A. Mutualism. B. Competition. C. Parasitism. D. Symbiosis. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's parasitism. So let's look at the next question. Question number 14. So we said the association between bacteria residing in the cecum and the ruminant is A. Saprophytism. B. Parasitism. C. Mutualism. D. Predation. So guys, we've answered this question before, and like we know, the answer to this question is mutualism. When two organisms of different species have a relationship where the both organisms actually benefit from the relationship, it is known as mutualism. So the both organisms are benefiting from the activities of each other. In this case, we have already explained this concept earlier on because we've answered this question. So in this situation, it is mutualism. So let's look at the next question. That's question number 15. So question number 15 says, interaction of a community of organisms with its abiotic environment constitutes A. an ecosystem, B. a microhabitat, C. a food chain, D. a niche. So guys, the answer to this question is an ecosystem, and that's option A. So the interaction of a community of organisms in an environment with their abiotic environment actually constitutes the ecosystem. So let's look at question number 16. So the question says, plantain and banana can be grouped together because they A. produce fruits, B. produce bulbils, C. produce suckers, D. produce seeds. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's produce suckers. Both plantain and banana are able to grouped together because they produce sucker. So they both produce suckers. The suckers are a kind of vegetative shoot that grows from the base of the plant or from the roots. So they are a form of asexual reproduction that allows the plants to produce new individuals without the need of seeds. So let's look at the next question. That's question number 17. The question says, use the diagram to answer the question that follows. The importance of the association to the fungus is that it obtains a partner for reproduction, b, anchorage from the algae, c, oxygen and carbohydrates from the algae, and d, water and mineral from the algae. So the answer to this question, guys, is option C. So the fungus here actually obtains oxygen and carbohydrates from the algae. So let's look at the next question, guys. That's question number 18. It says, which of the following statements best describes a parasite? A parasite is an organism that benefits at the expense of another organism known as the host. B, a parasite is an organism that lives in a mutually beneficial relationship with another organism. C, a parasite is an organism that carries out photosynthesis to produce food. D, a parasite is an organism that can produce its own food through the process of chemosynthesis. So guys, the answer to this question is option A. A parasite is an organism that benefits at the expense of another organism known as the host. So let's look at the next question, guys. That's question number 19. The question says, the association between a remora fish and a shark is A, commensalism, B, amensalism, C, parasitism, D, mutualism. So guys, the answer to this question is commensalism. Actually, in commensalism, organisms of different species have a relationship where one gains from the relationship, whereas the other neither gains nor is affected. So the association between a remora fish and the shark is that of commensalism. So let's look at the next question, guys. That's question number 20. The question says, what is symbiosis? Option A says a relationship between two organisms where one organism lives inside the body of the other. B, a relationship between two organisms where both benefit. C, a relationship between two organisms where one benefits and the other is harmed. And D, a relationship between two organisms where one benefits and the other is unaffected. So guys, symbiosis is a mutual feeding relationship. So it's a relationship where the both organisms benefit. So the answer to this question, guys, is option B. The both organisms benefit in symbiosis. So guys, this will be the end of this video. Guys, if you enjoyed this lesson, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're not yet a subscriber. Also, ensure to share this video with your friends so to enable us reach out to more audience. If you have any question regarding this video, please feel free to drop your question on the comment section below and we'll ensure to give you a response. Thank you for watching this video.